my husband was just kidnapped. They didn't tell me where they're taking him. They didn't ask him for identification. They wouldn't let me near him. And they're threatening me. They're threatening to mace me and arrest me.
Tonight, New York City, at the center of President Trump's escalating crackdown on illegal immigration. Federal agents arresting an alleged ringleader for the notorious Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, who they say is wanted for kidnapping and assault.
We are throwing them the hell out of our country. We have no apologies, and we're moving forward very fast.
No! Don't resist!
It began as an ordinary workday at an Amazon fulfillment center in Edison, until immigration and customs enforcement agents stormed in. Within minutes, panic set in. Startled employees scattered in every direction, scrambling to get away. But with canine units sweeping the aisles and drones hovering overhead, there was no way out. Across several other facilities raided that same morning, hundreds of undocumented workers were shackled and transported to detention centers. When investigators dug deeper, they uncovered a nationwide black market for fake IDs, sophisticated enough to bypass corporate hiring systems. What those IDs were being used for, and the scale of the network behind them, shocked even the most experienced agents. Now, the rules have changed. It's not only undocumented workers under scrutiny, employers are being targeted too. As raids spread from Amazon warehouses to restaurants, construction sites, and beyond, employers and employees alike know the question is no longer if federal authorities will arrive. It's when. So when roughly 30 ICE agents charged into that Edison, New Jersey Amazon center, workers were blindsided. They never saw it coming. Pix 11 News reported the tension was so intense that employees began calling family members to come to their aid.
Family members rushed to the warehouse with documents in hand, hoping to help their loved one.
And here's the jaw-dropping part. Agents walked in with a full list of every worker on site. They meant business and wasted no time. One employee told reporters the agents demanded to see everyone's IDs.
David tells me in Spanish that he was zip-tied, but after showing proof of his social security and immigration status, he was let go and given this red bracelet, adding that those without a bracelet were taken away.
Another claimed ICE agents handcuffed him, threw him to the floor, and later released him.
They let me go because they had to, but they were just harassing people for no reason. People over here only working, nobody here doing nothing bad.
By the end of the operation, somewhere between 15 and 20 people had been taken into custody and driven away. Even more astonishing, that same morning in New York, federal agents were active in Washington Heights and earlier in the Bronx, conducting similar raids, checking documents, separating those without authorization, and leaving with multiple detainees. According to NBC News, this surge has been building for months, but the speed and scope now are staggering.
Two sources familiar with the planning confirmed to NBC News ICE leadership has told agents to increase their arrest of undocumented immigrants to 1,200 to 1,500 per day nationwide. One source calling it a quota, adding agents may be penalized for not meeting it.
Since January 2025, over 1,000 undocumented workers have been arrested in workplace raids nationwide, with more than 1,200 businesses under active investigation. Amazon warehouses are far from the only targets. Restaurants, construction sites, food markets, factories, and more across numerous states have been swept up. In Kansas and Lenexa, Fox 4 News reported that ICE agents removed 12 to 20 workers from El Toro Loco restaurants. Footage captured workers being led out in chains as agents prepared to transport them. Witnesses described the sight as not only shocking but unlike anything they'd ever seen.
What we saw wasn't about safety, it was about fear. The scene they left behind told a story. We saw the kitchen still open, a flame burning on the stove, like someone had been taken in the middle of preparing a meal.
Local residents were furious, insisting these workers were innocent and didn't deserve such treatment.
Today, I saw something I never expected to witness in my own community. Federal agents storm into a local business, terrorizing people who are simply trying to build a better life.
Because anyone who is perceived as Latino or African, wherever they are, at a Home Depot, at a court hearing, at gardening, picking up their kids, or at a restaurant in suburban Johnson County, can be set upon by armed thugs, armed gunmen in masks, dragged into a van and disappeared.
In Sacramento, 8 people were arrested outside a Home Depot in an area where day laborers often wait for construction and landscaping jobs. The wife of one arrested man said her husband called her after spotting armed, masked men approaching. But when she arrived, what she saw left her shaken.
No! Man! Man! Don't resist! Man!
She recorded as agents took her husband, Jose Manuel Castillo, into custody, claiming he had committed no crime and was actually a U.S. citizen.
And my husband was just kidnapped. They didn't tell me where they're taking him. They didn't ask him for identification. They wouldn't let me near him. And they're threatening me. They're threatening to mace me and arrest me.
What she didn't mention was that he had been detained for slashing one of the agent's tires. Meanwhile, in North Texas, one of the largest single raids in the operation unfolded at a mid-sized manufacturing plant about 100 miles northeast of Dallas. Around 160 undocumented workers were arrested there, with about 300 field officers plus air and marine units involved. Some employees hid as soon as they spotted the agents.
Searched through acres of stored trailers looking for workers who were hiding, like this man who was handcuffed and taken into custody.
Federal officials say these operations stem from 9 employment eligibility audits and investigations into labor violations and fraud. They cite similar enforcement in industries like garment manufacturing in Los Angeles and meatpacking in Tennessee as proof this approach is expanding. In previous cases, like the 350 arrests at a Mississippi plant and the 389 in Iowa's Postville raid, the effects on local workforces were immediate, leaving job sites idle and employers scrambling for replacements. Now, in this latest wave, officials warn that employers could face severe penalties, with fines in some cases nearing $1 million. And no industry appears to be off limits. Many detained workers didn't simply walk into jobs. Fake documentation got them in, and that's the most alarming part. In cities such as New York and Chicago, criminal groups openly sell forged documents capable of passing corporate checks.
For the first time, we can show you this wall. Fake licenses, passports, social security, and international ID cards handed over by people trying to fake their citizenship.
It's a reminder of what people try to get away with.
Prices range from $80 for low-grade fakes to $500 for IDs that can withstand strict verification. Some use stolen personal data from breaches. Others are duplicates of real IDs belonging to people who resemble the buyer, meaning someone could be carrying a copy of your license without you knowing. In high-level operations, gangs use leaked or stolen identity data to create IDs that appear genuine in government databases. Officials say traffickers recruit from shelters housing asylum seekers in sanctuary cities, offering quick cash before placing them in jobs using false documents. The paychecks often go straight to the traffickers, who give the workers just enough to keep them dependent. And it's not limited to small businesses. These fake IDs have helped place workers in major corporations with strict hiring systems. The funding for this comes from organized theft, where gangs sell stolen goods and funnel profits into document production. In return, they keep control over the workers and their wages. This is why workplace raids are often intelligence-driven. When one dangerous individual is located, others from the same network are likely nearby. The Edison raid and others like it followed that exact strategy, taking down both the target and the infrastructure around them. But critics say innocent people are being swept up in the process. Protests have erupted in several cities.
Mexico! Mexico!
In Midtown Manhattan, demonstrators gathered outside an Amazon bookstore to oppose the raids. That protest ended with 44 arrests after police moved in. Some business owners caught in the sweeps insist their detained workers had no criminal records and were simply trying to earn a living. A pair of New York restaurant and deli owners employing about 30 people told Pix 11 News their side of the story.
Following the rules, we're making the community a better place, a safe place. We're not the target audience, but it feels like we are.
Federal officials, however, argue that off-the-books hiring is illegal and undercuts law-abiding competitors. The economic stakes are high. New York City alone is home to over 400,000 undocumented residents, many of whom work in low-wage sectors like food service, construction, and warehousing. Immigration advocates warn that mass detentions could harm local economies, but supporters of the crackdown believe it frees up jobs for legal residents and forces compliance with wage and safety laws.
I'm really happy it's happening. Very happy, actually.
Sanctuary cities remain the epicenters of these clashes. In places like New York, police cannot patrol certain shelters, which officials say has allowed gang activity to grow unchecked. Critics argue these policies shield dangerous individuals and enable trafficking networks. As the raids intensify, the divide deepens between those who see them as essential for public safety and those who view them as heavy-handed and destructive to communities. The political and economic stakes keep rising, but one thing is clear: federal authorities have no intention of slowing down.